Hello everyone, this is John from Western Maine Defensive Tactics. Hey, this box has 3030 on it. Let's see what's inside it. Oh, it's a reloading kit. I assembled this kit over the last year or so with some stuff I had hanging around the house. Let's take a look at it. First thing you'll see when you open the lid of the box is I have loading data for the round that this kit produces, and it's set up to produce one round in 3030 Winchester. And all the data is right here, so there's no guesswork. There's no memory issues with it. It's all right there in a form that I can read. I've got some leak case lube. I've got some 170 grain 3030 bullets. They're Hornady 170 grain flat nose. Winchester primers. And the primary tool this is set up around is a Ideal reloading tool. It's got the bullet mold on the end. I don't use it. It's an actual 3240 tool, which is the parent cartridge of the 3030, so it can load 3030 and 32 Winchester Special and all that. I can't use the bullet mold for 3030 because it's a 32 caliber bullet mold. If I was going to, if I wanted to load 32 with it, I could actually resize the bullets right with this tool. This is a pretty neat little tool. I got this for a couple of bucks at the gun show, and I didn't know it at the time, but I ended up reloading a lot of 3030 with it. I've loaded about, between 600 and 800 rounds of 3030 over the last year with this tool, and it's just fun to use. It really is, and it's, like I said, it's over 100 years old, still cranking out rounds today, and I'm not going to wear it out. I'll set that right over here. I've got some IMR 4064 powder, and yes, all the powder manufacturers recommend it against not using other containers than what powder comes in. This is well marked. This kit is set up for this powder only. I got a loading block I made with a, I think it's a 5/8 end mill with a piece of scrap wood. I took the piece of wood and fit it to the kit, and then figured, oh well, I can get a dozen rounds on there. And I've got some instructions I use kind of as a pad and as a reference. I've got two blue boxes, and let's examine what's in here. In this blue box, the lesser of the two, I've got all the dies for the tool to load with. All these dies are 310 threaded dies. They all thread into this tool, and I can neck size and deprime my cartridge. I can reprime it, seat the bullet, bell and crimp the case. Everything I need to do. This is just the other part of this tool, not useful on this caliber, so I keep it in there so I don't lose it. I also have two decapping pins to replace those in case I break it, so that works pretty well. Like I said in my other video, let me fit this in here. I gotta hold my mouth right to do it. Get in there, you. Right. But anyway, the 310 type tools are pretty damn good for what they are. They do neck size. You can use neck sized rounds, obviously, in a 3030, even though some people will say it doesn't work well. What I will do sometimes is I'll full length resize my 3030 brass for its initial loading or its initial reloading, and then I'll use this. I think I've loaded, I'd have to check my records. I've loaded shells 6 or 7 times with this before I actually have to go back and full length resize. And that means I've got 8 or 9 loadings on them. So that's getting to the end of the useful life of the brass itself if you're using a full power load. All right, what's in this one? In here I've got basically my powder measuring stuff. When I go to, let's say this is a case that's ready to load. This is just a piece of brass. Brass fits in there. I'll put my funnel on here. I'll take my powder, pour it in this cup. This is just a little tin that I picked up someplace, I'm not sure. And I'll take my Lee 2.2 cc scoop, which gives me 30 grains of IMR 4064. I'll put it in like this, scoop it up, and then I'll strike the top off with this old debit card, like this. Dump it in there, and I've charged my case. Take my bullet, put it right on top, so the powder doesn't spill as I'm moving around or anything. That's how I charge cases. I've also got primer pocket cleaning tool in case I need it, and the little Lee lock stud case trimming thing, and a chamfer tool just in case. I generally don't have to trim cases, but hey, let's say I have a mixed bag of cases and one ends up too long to load. I'll just trim it real quick. It doesn't take but a minute. Now let's see if I can pack all this back in the way it was while I'm talking at the same time. Could be interesting. I can't put this on and put it in the case because it just doesn't fit. It takes a little bit of finesse to get everything in here, but it all does fit in here. And like I said, this kit it's not huge. You can't do 1,000 rounds with it, but I think I've got 60 or 70 bullets in here and just enough powder to do them all. So you can get 60 or 70 rounds out of it before you need a resupply. And no, it's not hundreds and hundreds of rounds, but what I do think is if you have a rifle with an established load that you know how to shoot well, meaning the rifle and the load, if you've got 60 rounds, you've got quite a bit. It all fits in there. That pads this. Loading block, primers. Well, I always do that opposite. And then this fits right in here like that. Just like that. And the case is nothing special. It's just some pieces of scrap board I screwed together kind of as an experiment. I sized the box to fit the tool and used whatever containers I had, selected them to fit in the kit with what I needed for it. So there you go. That's kind of what I've been working on for the last year or so. One of the many little projects. But this is a pretty fun little kit to use. It's competent. I'd have no problem stowing this in a camp someplace, stopping in after, a day or a week or however long with a pocket full of empty brass and turning that empty brass into new loads to go out and hunt with or defend myself, whichever. But I like it. It's one of a few kits I'll show you over the coming months. All right, I hope this helps you out, maybe inspires you a little bit. Take care.